Hello, you beautiful monsters. Happy Wednesday, which is the day we break down some news and some tinfoil hat stuff. And yes, we know the Champions Leagues are running, so we do have something to celebrate the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Mr. German Dave, if you would be so kind. So highlight of
L-
Lautaro Martinez'
Hey,
impressive traps, techers.
dude, look at his ball skills and how he controlled that ball.
Absolutely impeccable, world class, just amazing
Um,
touch.
a master in ball control.
Yeah,
Like beautiful one touch ball control.
yeah, Messi couldn't even do that. Look at that touch. Incredible.
Oh no. Oh no. Dude, I wish we had strikers that can control the ball like that.
Oh, I know. I wish we had someone that could, trap the ball like that. Just absolutely incredible. Um, uh, kind of an interesting Champions League match week, huh? I mean, practically
Yep.
outside of Atletico Madrid, not a single squad knows how to play defense.
Oh no.
Granted, I should probably be a little bit more genuine and say, because a crap ton of goals were absolutely like world class goals, like ridiculously bonkers.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be petty and be a dick, I could say, look, Man City and Real Madrid both scored 3 goals with a .3 expected goals. Oh my god, that is just clinical finishing at its finest. I mean, obviously, their shots outside the box. I kid everybody, though that if you have world class players, even pragmatic coaches look like the world class
Oh yeah.
coaches. It's kind of
Oh yeah.
it's a fact of life. I mean, you look at Barcelona and PSG today. I mean, they're tied up at 2-2 apiece. Both teams, to me, you know, the uh, the Dembele goal was absolutely bonkers. But Christensen just scored to take it and make it 3-2. So, like I said, none of these teams know how to play defense because
And by the
currently,
way,
right. Go ahead.
I can't believe how PSG didn't put this Barca team away.
I'm surprised how poorly Mbappe played this game.
Dude, they are playing in Paris,
I know that's what I'm saying.
so damn.
It's Luis
You know,
Enrique who won a
you
Champions
you
League with Xavi.
hey, do you remember how I laughed at Barcelona and everything? And I said, hey, I won't laugh at them anymore when if they beat Napoli. And dude, since they beat them, they are on a unbeaten run. Dude, Barca returned to form.
I know. Oh my god! Could you imagine if this Barcelona team wins the Champions League?
Oh my god. Dude, can you imagine an El Clasico Champions League final?
I would think Real Madrid would absolutely curb stomp them.
Oh,
Part of me
oh yeah,
thinks I think
but the game
Atletico's got it.
presentation at the El Clasico would be
Oh,
incredible, though.
absolutely. I think Atletico Madrid has this bracket on lock, but the game starts, Rafinha 1-0, Dembele equalizes, or no, actually, it was Vitinha that equal, or no, it was Dembele. I don't know why I can't read clocks. Dembele 1-1. Then you got Vitinha making it 2-1. Then Rafinha making it 2-2. Now Christensen making it 3-2. It's a little bit of a ping pong match, but
Yeah.
we'll kind of update you as you go. If you're listening to us, we'll kind of update you if anything changes there. But we've got a couple of things to go over today. Some news that's kind of been swirling around the interwebs pretty much all a good chunk of today. So one thing is that we'll start off is and it's in the title with Antonio Conte. So I shall pull Z article up with Antonio Conte because Antonio Conte might be going to somewhere where we're not too keen on. Napoli prepare a rich contract for Antonio Conte as Juventus doubts exist here. So ADL is drawing up a lucrative 3-year contract for Conte, despite trying to bring or desperate to bring him over. Which I kind of don't understand this move with Conte going to Napoli because Conte will play a 3-5-2 and he will probably put on a strap on and proceed to drill ADL in the back every week if ADL does not decide to agree to that
Yep.
to that stipulation there. So obviously Napoli needs a huge, resurgence or revolution per se on what they're doing post Scudetto season. So Osimhen is obviously expected to leave. Napoli have already
Yep.
identified Conte to take over. Calzona, who's only had his highlight from beating us 2-1 off of that stupid penalty. Oh my god. Oh man, we make stupid coaches look good sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So the Conte offer, he is willing to offer Conte his requested contract, a 3-year deal worth 24 million in net in total, working out to an 8 million net salary, making him the highest paid Serie A coach per season. So gross, that's roughly about 48 million. Wow, that's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money.
And the club has also promised him control in the transfer market, including picking Osimhen's
Dude,
replacement. Lukaku to
Napoli will,
Napoli confirmed.
hey, hey, Napoli will be in shambles, and I'm here for it. Dude, this will be the most toxic marriage between Conte and ADL since Kim and Kanye, and I'm here for it.
I know, me too. Oh, I would
Dude, please, please, I just want to see the world burn. Damn, it will be fun.
that would be iconic to see those
Hey,
2
will you
come
will you
together.
will you give it more than a season?
I don't think it would be. I think it would end at the end of the season.
Oh, dude, I give it a couple of months, and Conte will already burn the whole club. Hey, this club has no winning mentality. No wonder why they didn't win anything in 33 years.
He's like, "No wonder they sucked after they won their only Scudetto
Oh
33."
yeah.
The question is, who would leave? Who would cause who to leave first? Would it be Conte just storming off, or would ADL sack him?
Oh, I think ADL is petty enough to not let Conte go away. I think he wouldn't let the moment pass without him being the one to sack him.
It's cinema.
Dude, it's Kim and Kanye, and I'm here for it.
It's part of me. It's just kind of like ADL's like Paul Heyman in a sense.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he literally is the Paul Heyman of football.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Dan is asking, "Are you surprised that Amorim isn't on the Juve manager list?" No, because he is not
Nope.
Italian.
I am not surprised at all. I love him as a coach. The dude turned Sporting Lisbon completely around as a club, and that made an impression on clubs that, I'm sorry to say it, but right now are bigger than Juventus, and that's why Liverpool has a deal nearly done with him. So he's off the market anyways. There are some reports that he already signed with Liverpool a 3-year deal. Some say he has the contract offered but hasn't signed yet. But he will 100%, like, even if it's not Liverpool, go to some bigger club, because there are lots of clubs for managers, for managerial positions open right now in the Premier League, and they will give you also a nice bag of cash. So I'm not surprised at all that he isn't an option for us.
That and Juve have a real particularness when it comes to foreign coaches, right? Like
Yep.
they want it has to be Italian, and Motta's Brazilian. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, he's got an Italian citizenship, so in theory,
Yeah.
he's Brazil Italian in a sense. So I think that he's probably the closest Juve have gotten a foreign coach since Deschamps.
Yeah.
And even then, Deschamps has really
Yep.
strong ties to Juve, and
Yep.
same thing would be with Tudor as well. Though
Yep.
I think I'm convinced to this point that I don't believe Tudor would be really successful
Yep.
with Juve. I think Tudor to me tactically seems like a Lazio level, Roma level coach, where I think that's his bread and butter
I
is. I don't think he's top tier.
I think Tudor would do great with a Premier League club that gives him money to spend to overhaul a roster to set it up for his pressing and energetic football style. I think he would do good in the Premier League, but his style doesn't work here in Italy, because most of the teams are set up in Italy for pragmatism, sitting deep and hitting you on the counter attack, and that's like for a high pressing team the most dangerous way against like deep sitting teams that hit you on a counter, because if you press high, it's high risk, high reward. The second you lose the ball, like you are under the threat of receiving a counter attack. That's why high pressing teams receive lots of goals, but also scores a lot of goals. So yeah, it's on a nice edge all the time, and that style doesn't work in Italy.
Yeah, and for sure, right? Motta has been linked to Liverpool as well. It depends on Motta, right? If Liverpool calling, I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if he entertains it.
No, yeah, I agree, but it looks like Liverpool has already everything done
Decided
with
with
Ruben
Amorim.
Amorim. Yeah, he also fits with his coaching style the most to Liverpool. He plays a very defensive style with a three man defense actually, but like he plays a style that has a very like high defending midfield also, and a midfield that is very quick with the ball. Like that's why he would fit Liverpool perfect, because all their midfielders are very quick, in getting into spaces and running towards the opponent's box, quick decision making, like everything we wish we could do.
Hmm. Yep.
And also they have got them Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunes, like everybody like has got them speed in their offensive front line. So yeah,
No, for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see because, like, for example, really, it's going to be dependent on what happens more so on the carousel on the summer, right? I mean, like, for example, with Juventus, and the next part, what we'll talk about is a squad overhaul, right? We're projected to have a very big overhaul. Some of the departures that we're having the following or this summer, uh, first name is going to be Costa, or let's answer this. Could Zidane go to Juve? 0% chance.
no,
0%
Zidane
chance.
will come maybe in 5 years when we have a complete ready roster,
When you're
and
looking
that's
to
it.
get over, yeah, when you're looking to get over that hump, I think that's the only time Zidane could come in.
Dude, Zidane will never take the risk of taking the job at a team that is on a build up, like that tries to build itself up again. He would never take that risk because
You get exposed.
like like he knows his worth right now is at an ultimate high because of his winning at Real Madrid, where he had a ready roster. And like I think he is scared of hurting his reputation, and he would never take a job on a roster that's not like on every single position set up to to win everything.
Well, and it's because it's like, for example, it would be the same. Zidane coming to Juve would have the same result as Carlo Ancelotti at Everton.
Yeah,
Literally pound for pound, the same exact result.
yeah.
You might, obviously,
Or Conte at Tottenham, for example. Tottenham didn't have a roster that was ready, and didn't have the players to fit his playing style, and like he completely like burnt the club alive.
yeah. So speaking of overhaul, so this is with Mathis Pug and Romeo Agresti having a conversation. Obviously, take it for a grain of salt because we won't know anything until two things: Champions League is secured, and the hiring and firing of, if it does happen, of the manager. But
Yeah,
some speculation here is that Kostic is the very first name considered leaving Juventus. Obviously, that doesn't surprise us that he is, working on a potential exit.
yeah,
The next names are going to be a little bit interesting. Milik is on the list. Milik did change agencies, so there is some volatility there where he could potentially leave. Illing Jr. on his way out, Moise Keane on his way out, Hans Nicolucci Caviglia on his way out, and Deschilio on his way out as well. Two notable names that are on the way out are Adrien Rabiot not renewing and leaving, and Manchester United making a bid for Bremer as well. So, I mean, German Dave, out of that entire list, is there one that you're sad to see leave, or are you just kind of like, whatever, deuces?
if you go with sad, no, I won't be sad with anybody basically because I think we can do better like on every position. And yeah, dude, basically outside of Yildiz, like an, there's no one untouchable for me. Like I'm not sad to see anybody go. The club is way bigger for me, and the club, as it stands right now, has to revamp the whole roster. Even though it won't happen like within one summer transfer window, it will happen over the next like 1, 2, 3 years. It will be like a process basically, and I'm not sad with any of those names.
No, me neither. And this is interesting, right? Isan is saying Tudo Sports that Allegri might stay for the last year of his contract, which he could also do that, right? Even though, like for example, you have Romeo and you have Fabrizio saying, "Oh yeah, it's expected that he'll leave," and that's why we're just kind of like nobody knows anything.
We
So
don't know anything right
let's not
now. Yeah,
marry and let's not
yeah.
marry the idea, folks. Right? Like this is kind of what makes these conversations fun because we're speculating. We're kind of having hypotheticals here. So it's like, for example, hypothetically, Allegri leaves, Motta's probably the first candidate to replace him. It's either Motta or, in my opinion, and Dave's opinion as well, Italiano are the top
Yeah.
two names. Conte is not even in the equation. I'm telling you this. I don't think Gentoli considers Conte a viable
No,
replacement.
because if you get Conte, you can as well stay with Max. The coaching style is the same, just the one is the more toxic ex-wife.
Yeah, and she's got a nice butt, but she also slaps you across the face. She pegs you a couple
Yeah,
of times. That's kind of
yeah.
what Conte is.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, she tries to dom you as well.
yeah, she's like, "Come here, you little man. I will show you how it is to be a big boy." So, like, that's kind of how Conte is when it comes to the locker room.
Oh yeah,
Um, so when we look at it, for me, I think, and I've had this opinion, this take for the longest time, where I said, if you want to expedite a rebuild and facilitate it properly, Bremer, Chiesa, or Dusan have to leave. One of those three will have to go to expedite the rebuild. I think for it to fully take effect, for you to be dominant on all fronts, it will take 3 years. I know Canadian Dave said 5 years. For me, if you sell Bremer or Dusan or Chiesa and you're willing to get anywhere
yeah.
north of 50, I
Then
would
you
say
have the money to do it quicker.
yes, I would say 3 years is your maximum. 1.5
Yeah,
to 2 years is the sweet spot.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't, if you don't sell any of them and you have to go through the old school route of
yeah,
sell and invest, I could see the maximum being 5 years.
yeah,
Rare to be honest with you, because in football, it's parity, right? The more money that you invest, the quicker turnaround you have. Though, like for example, Milik, I doubt you sell Milik for anything. I think he might just be a contract release if he does get dropped. Kostic, I don't think Kostic will get you anything north of 10 million. Illing, if you are lucky to get 20, you take it and you run with it. Keane, same thing goes with Keane, anywhere between 15 to 20 million. Hans,
yeah,
anything around 10 million. DeCilio,
yeah,
you're lucky if anyone offers you a bag of chips for DeCilio. So
yeah,
it really depends, right? Like I think more so before we're able to speculate on who goes, who stays, and who goes, you have to look at who the manager is, right?
yeah,
And and this is going to be the summer transfer market where I really hold Giuntoli to scrutiny. I like, for example, he's gotten a grace period this season in the winter,
yeah,
though. Outside of Jello, I'm kind of not really impressed with the additions that he brought in. I am impressed with some of the loans that he did, especially for Hoyson. So that's the he's kind of got nothing bad, nothing good towards me. However,
dude,
picking the
he brought us some extra cash basically
yeah.
with the Huysen loan, and I'm not against it. The dude needs to develop anyway, and hey, why not like send him on loan to Roma, a club that's fighting for the European spot. So he has something to play for. And they also have to play him because like he is the loan deal is binded to some clauses that will give us extra money, like if they don't play him enough. So they have to play him.
Yeah, and like I said, that like the departures, I'm not opposed to how he handled some of the
Yeah,
departures. My only concern is like the additions that he brought in. Obviously, funds are limited and whatnot, but you know, with all due respect, like Charlie hasn't really done
yeah,
anything at all.
yeah. No, I think this was anyway just he wanted to see what he has in the first season. Like he can't just go there and sell everybody immediately because he has to see what he has actually like in his hands and what deals can he do and everything. I think now he has a clear picture of who is productive, who he wants to keep, or who he wants to sell, and for how much money and what the values actually of the players are. And I think he got a good picture of it. And now with hopefully Champions League money and everything, like this one, I agree with you. This will be his first Mercato. We actually like can then judge his work.
Yeah, and also him coming in, like most of the players didn't really have any value worth selling.
Yeah,
Like Dusan was in a rut, Chiesa was in a rut. Bremer wasn't as touted as he is now. I think if
yeah,
anyone were going to purchase Bremer, they would have purchased him last year and got him at a cheaper deal.
yeah.
So your assets at that point, like even with Yildiz, he wasn't worth anything at the time.
The values of our players, we can't complain. Like every, like most of them except of Chiesa, his value tanked a bit. Everybody else, like thank
Increased.
God, raised their values. Vlahovic raised his value by 10 million from the start of the season until now. Bremer raised it by 10 million as well. So, we are in a good spot.
Yeah, and of course with departures, there's the speculations of the players that are coming in. So Romeo submitted a lineup. German Dave and I had a chance to look at it earlier, so we kind of find it a little bit. We have some scrutiny towards it, but according to him, this is what Juve is going to line up next season. So it's a 4-2-3-1. Yay! I love that formation. One of my favorites. But you have a back four of Cambiaso, Calafiori, Bremer, and Danilo, which I find, I reserve to have some skepticism on that one. You're down pivot two of Koopmeyers and Locatelli, and then Yildiz with Chiesa, Vlahovic, and Anderson up top. For me, the biggest issue is the back line. I'm not worried about the front three or the front four. Front four, I'm okay. It is what it is, right?
Yeah,
There's not really anything there. Though for me, my biggest concern is, you're putting a lot of trust in Fate and Yildiz to hold the 10 role. I think you might want to get another player with experience first,
yeah,
an actual 10 versus Kanan. But like, for example, two issues that stand out in a back four is Danilo's pace. He is old. He is
yeah,
not the youngest
yeah,
boy in the yard. And again, people can say he plays as a right back for Brazil, but again, Brazil's not really that dominant right
yeah.
now, and there's not really
If you
any other
pl-
options.
if you play as a fullback in today's game, you are facing the most athletic and fast wingers we have ever seen in the sport. They get faster, more physical, and everything with every single season because like nutrition gets better and everything just got better. Sports science got better, and the wingers get better and faster all the time. And I'm scared for Danilo to be isolated in 1v1s. Like, sorry, but it will never work to play him as a fullback. Even if you
No,
play him as a defensive fullback, because you don't want him to go up too much, because then Bremer stays isolated, and we don't know Bremer is the best in 1v1 defending or being isolated in a two-man center back setup. So that whole like right side of the defense, I don't like it, and sorry, but it won't work.
yes, I disagree. Yeah, exactly. I agree with it. It just doesn't make sense tactically, right? Because, like, for example, Calafiori and Cambiaso would be your two ball playing center backs, and they're all
Yeah,
both on the left side, and then your right side has
yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
So the only way, like, for example, you could get away with it, like you're able to get away with it, but if you play a higher quality team, you're getting incinerated. Is if you put Bremer and Danilo in the middle and you flank Cambiaso and Calafiori, where it's like it's a pass, but it's not ideal because again, it leaves Danilo and Bremer by themselves as the back two for them to
yeah,
create and play make. And like for example, Danilo has that capability where Bremer doesn't really do it that well. though Locatelli, I guess, is forcing him to do it because Locatelli can't do it for himself. But the next position or the next part of the lineup here that I'm,
And
I have. Go ahead.
can I add
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something?
Cook.
Because I consider the goalkeeper, like in the modern day of football, the goalkeeper is part of the four-man defense as well. The goalkeeper is the first guy to have the ball like in build-up play. So, in my opinion, if we go for a four-man backline, we need to have also a goalkeeper that is good with the ball at his feet. And in my opinion, like I love Tech, like more than everything. His reflexes are on top. He is a pure comedian at everything and lovable. But in a four-man backline, you need a goalkeeper that can spread the ball to either one of the defenders and even to your midfield. He needs to find like open space and like just pin the ball perfectly to the other players around him and in his own final half, basically. And I don't think he can do that. If we switch to a four-man backline, I think we also need another goalkeeper.
Yeah, you're gonna need one that's able to really play with the ball, right? That's gonna
Yeah.
give you another outlet to move the ball, so it's not generally isolated or trapped. But this other part that I find scrutiny under is Cope Miners and Locatelli, because, like, for example, I really think Locatelli offers absolutely nothing to the midfield. Like, he's not even a
He
midfielder at
he
this point.
he regressed so much. He regressed really, really, really much.
So that leaves it all on Coop Myers to really essentially facilitate it. Like, for example, uh, Vlad's like, what?
Yeah, Vlad. Please
Vlad, you
cook it
walked
in
in.
the.
You
Hey,
walked into Romeo Agresti's lineup
hey,
here.
hey! Please cook it in the comments. Hey, let it fly.
Uh, for me, I think if you ran Coop Myers and Jorginho, that would make more sense
Yeah,
because Coop Myers then becomes that eight, where I think Coop Myers really shines more as an eight
yeah.
because this formation is still dependent on Locatelli handling the ball. And we had a reel that we did with Jack Bonaventura
Yeah.
having 80 touches,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was very
Uh,
popular.
we just want to remind you, Bonaventura had more touches than a whole midfield
Yeah,
the whole game.
yeah. So, like, for example, with Locatelli being there, uh, Locatelli, I don't know. I maybe if there is a Motta, maybe Motta can fix it. Vlad says, "Where is Adrian?" Adrian is walking, apparently, from what I've seen on a lot of articles. Rabiot will not be re-signing. That is what is being spread on the news. So, unfortunately, Mon Chéri is Bon Chéri in a sense because he is not going to be here. Again, it is Romeo Agresti that is saying, which is kind of ironic, right? Because Romeo was like, "Oh, Motta and Rabiot are best friends. There's a very good rapport there." And then a week later, oh, there's indications that Adrien Rabiot is looking to leave Juventus at the end of the season. Like, come on, man! Like, pick something. So if
Dude,
I'm
we
Rabiot,
don't know
anything,
anything.
anything.
Everybody just reports like something just to stay relevant. Nobody knows shit right now about what our management decides at the end of the season. We don't know anything. Neither do the reporters, but reporters have to report on something or on something, you know.
Yeah, the only thing that we know for certain is renewals and anything is being halted until securing the Champions League qualification. So, like, contracts and negotiations are being halted per se. There's only contacts, and contacts is just, hey, here's an idea. What do you think about it? Here's a potential number. Here's some things that we're floating. So there's only two contacts, Chiesa and Giuntoli, which allegedly is positive, and then McKennie and Gentile, which was overall negative. So there is a potential of McKennie, if the contract isn't met, he is potentially being shown the door. But for this, because Jan is saying Jorginho's playing more at Arsenal under Arteta, and it might be difficult to prize Jorginho away from Arsenal. Well, Jorginho's a free agent at the end of the season. And from what we've seen, there has not been any contract negotiations for a new contract with Jorginho and Arsenal.
I believe Vlad educated us. It is he has a year on his contract, but I believe that 1 year is a player
Player
option, so
option.
he can opt out basically. And also Arsenal may look. They already did it last summer. They sold Granit Xhaka to Leverkusen because they wanted to get younger in the midfield and got Declan Rice for over 100 million. So yeah, they're also going towards the direction of getting the midfield younger. So I think they will sell George, or maybe like if an offer comes in, it's irresponsible to not at least consider it. And yeah, hey, we will see.
Yeah. So Bones is saying give McKennie a better deal. He has earned it. It's difficult, right? Like for example, if it is this formation, the 4-2-3-1, it's a very difficult spot to put McKennie in, unless you want
Yeah,
McKennie to convert to a full-time right back position. That would
yeah,
be the only time where you could really see it, unless you run a midfield of air quotes. I would move Yildiz out of this. If you ran a midfield of Jorginho, Koop Myers, and then McKennie, and McKennie would be your destroyer.
yeah,
That could work, but then like kind of how this setup is, it's very difficult to envision a spot for McKennie, and
yeah,
it's, though I understand Misak's sentiment of you shouldn't give McKennie a raise just because of this season. McKennie's on low wages. McKennie's practically entering the prime of his career, so McKennie's going to look for that last big contract. So if
yeah,
he doesn't get a raise here, he's essentially moving. He's just going
yeah.
to go somewhere else. And Vlad says, I'm not a 3-5-2 person, but 3-5-2
I
fits this team like a
I
slap
agree.
to a bitch.
I I 100% I agree. Like
Yeah.
I I'm not going into the last part of the sentence, but yeah, the 3-5-2, I 100% agree. Like this team is set up for a 3-5-2. If you replace some of the positions, it will work perfect in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, unless Motta comes in and adapts the 3-5-2, and that will just cause, absolute flames to all the Allegri out folk. But I don't know. This is going to be extremely, extremely difficult to this.
Yeah,
If they go off rip and they implement this system, expect a rocky start.
yeah,
I would expect a very rocky
yeah,
start to the season. It's going to be very, very difficult, but
yeah,
uh, I do see it. Like for me personally, you need to get for this to work properly. You need an experienced five.
yeah,
I don't care what Gentoli needs to do. I think Gentoli needs to pull Jorginho to the table and try to convince him to come here.
yeah,
I don't know if he had contacts with him at Napoli when he was at Napoli, but Jorginho wants to come back to Italy. I know that's something that he wants to do. I would I would really, really like the idea of Jorginho coming in and leading the midfield.
yeah.
Maybe you might not need Coop Myers, then you might just be fine with a Ferguson or a Goodmanson or whoever per se. You could look at it from that perspective, but how could you not like the opportunity of having a Coop Myers and a Jorginho midfield, dual pivot in that perspective? I think that would absolutely be insane as far as productivity. Again, for me, for Yildiz up top, like for example, I would agree with Gompachiro where you need probably like a Dybala or maybe
Yeah.
instead of a Yildiz in that role.
So sorry, but we saw Sule trying it, but no,
No, I don't think
Sule
Sude
no,
is good enough
no.
for that. Uh, but like for
And
example,
by
I
the
don't.
way, hypothetically, if we play that lineup that doesn't work at all, we would have to sell Sule and all of our young guys anyways to afford that lineup.
Yeah.
Because if we don't sell Chiesa or Vlahovic or Bremer, dude, our whole like next gen is gone.
So yeah, Lewis Ferguson Dan is younger, but I'm saying at the same time, right? You would have Jorginho and then Ferguson next to him.
But they're not comparable at all. Like
No,
Ferguson
yeah,
is
they're not.
way more offensive, and
Yes.
Jorginho sits way deeper and shares the ball from deep, while Lewis Ferguson like likes to work in the opponent's half most of the time. Like
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and you would play Ferguson alongside Jorginho. It's not that you're interchanging the two; you're
I
playing them
dash
alongside
dash
each other.
Our brother Vlad still can't let go of Tony Kroos.
Cruz. He's like, let's just stick to a 3-5-2 and sign 3 free agents for Mosto, Jorginho, and Cruz.
Hey, Habibi, this has become toxic now. We need to do an intervention.
No, you want to know what Vlad does? This is Vlad. Vlad is practically this. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
Juventus fans,
Vlad
this
and Jeff, and hey,
Jeff.
they just want to see the world burn.
This is literally Vlad's midfield three of Hermoso, Jorginho, and Cruz, and Juve fans are the house right now. That's pretty much what Vlad's doing here. I think Vlad is more so just, I'll show this just because we haven't done this in a while. He's just upset that he's losing Rabiot.
Hey, Dash, your contractual obligated clip.
Oh, right. But in the end, this is what Vlad will really get.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
And he follows up with German Dave, when there's delusion, there is hope.
Yeah, but brother, being delusional like is toxic for your own soul. You need peace. You need freedom. Hey, though those thoughts occupying your mind, hey, it's not good for you.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Brother is ill, as Bones would say. So Italian Football TV have an article, or not Italian Football TV. Jesus Christ, why are they on my tongue? So let's share this one here. Juventus eyeing on Alvaro Morata's third spell at the club. So pucker your cheeks. It's Alvarito, everybody. So Juventus are reportedly eyeing Alvaro Morata for the summer, which could make his third stint at the club, according to reports from La Gazzetta and Tutto Sport. Juve are actively strategizing for the upcoming window, particularly for the Club World Cup in the horizon, with Moise Kean likely to be departing. Juventus are keen on securing a replacement striker. In light of this, bringing Alvaro back to the fold has gained traction of the hierarchy. The Spanish forward, who already boasts residence in Turin, holds an affinity for the city. Making a return will be easy. His track record and reliability in delivering performance at the highest level make him an attractive option. However, the potential stumbling block in negotiations could be the fee. Despite his return to Juventus at Atleti, his current club demand a substantial fee, an estimated range of 15 to 20 million for a permanent transfer. Financial feasibility of the deal hinges on the departure of Keane. Also, potential sales of players within the Juve squad, including Milik, Chiesa, and funds generated from these transfers this season. So I think this is, and no, it's not João Felix, Compatro. It's not. It looks like João Felix, but it's not. So I can assume more than likely Milik is gone. I think he is not going to stay here, and I think Keane is also gone. I think those two players will leave in the summer,
Hey,
without a doubt.
I wouldn't mind a 1-for-1 swap deal like with
Keane for
Keane
Morata?
for Morata. I wouldn't mind it.
No, I wouldn't at all.
Dude,
And
Morata as a rotational piece to Vlahovic? Dude, that striker duo would be great for me.
I think so. Like, I
Dude,
don't. I'm not opposed to that.
Morata is cooking at Atletico. Like his chance conversion and everything got way better because he has
He's
a
not a main
coach
guy.
that trusts him. And since everybody laughed at him at was it the World Cup where he missed the chances and everything? Like the dude went to mental health specialist and everything, and the dude has a free mind. And honestly, like he is cooking his shot conversion and everything got way better, and 100% like as a rotational piece, I take him in a heartbeat.
I don't understand why they would say the stumbling block is the price 15 to 20 million for Morata. I think that's a steal.
Yeah, I thought he will be even more expensive because he
30,
renewed
yeah.
for an additional season. I believe I thought it would be around 30 or 35.
That's
But
what I was
a
thinking. I'm like,
but
15
15 to 20 million for basically more effective Milik, I don't mind it.
and a better record, injury record.
Yeah, and also a guy that's more available than Keane or everyone of our rotational strikers, basically. And dude, Vlahovic isn't the most healthy anyways. And if Vlahovic is off for some games, dude, Morata, put him in there
Morata
and he will produce.
Morata was always a clutch goal scorer for Juve.
Yep.
Like even his second spell, his 2 seasons, his first season, I think he hit 20. He scored over 20 goals his first
Yep.
season in all competitions. Like for example, could you, because Morata is one of the grittier strikers. Morata is essentially more of an all-around striker. And then like
Yep.
for example, let's say hypothetically that we're still a 3-5-2. If you were to play Dusan and Morata as a partnership, Morata plays on the left, Dusan plays on the right. That's almost like a match made in heaven for those
Yep.
two. And Morata's so unselfish.
Yeah, but do you know what Morata got really good at? Because Kamaboko just wrote with Morata like being more so on the left side. He completely changed. The brother plays way more centrally, and his positioning at everything has become like even more immaculate. And his passing, he is passing to the wingbacks that are cutting into the box, and dude, he had a complete resurgence at Atletico.
Well,
And
and
that is because he has a team and a coach that trusts him.
then here's the other thing too, German Dave. He's not asked to be the main man at Atleti.
No,
It's Griezmann.
no, it's Griezmann, yeah.
Yeah, it's Griezmann that's your main
And
guy. So
could you imagine Griezmann being our most offensive like midfielder? Dude,
could you imagine if we ran a 4-2-3-1 and then you had Dusan and Griezmann paired together? I mean, it's fantasy football, but
my
Griezmann
God.
playing behind Dusan would be
Yep,
insane. Like a trident of Dusan, Chiesa, and Griezmann, and then whoever on the right, whether it's Anderson or Sule or Weah, like that
dude,
would be
that
one of
would
the
cook.
most dynamic offenses ever. I
Dude,
mean, there's no way in
that would
hell,
cook.
no
No,
way in
no,
hell
it's
Atletico.
just it's hypothetical, but dude, that would cook.
That would be insane. You would just need at least a decent midfielder to play through balls for him. But
Yeah,
speaking of Champions League football, full time Barcelona did beat PSG 3-2, which I think is
yep.
an absolute shocker. Atletico Madrid win at home 2-1. I like I said on that side of the bracket, I think Atletico Madrid are favorites to go to the final.
Oh
I
yeah,
would.
yep.
There's no
For
way.
me
I
as
don't
well.
see. Yeah, it's for me right now. It's looking like a Real Madrid Atletico final, as unpopular as that sounds.
Yep.
I don't see, like for example, Arsenal don't have the capabilities to beat anyone from the Man City or the Real bracket. I just
And
over
by
two
the
leg.
way, I think Manchester City and Arsenal, as much as as important as the Champions League is, they are in a goddamn three-way fight for the Premier League. And even though the Champions League is the most important European trophy, they will focus 100%
Yes.
more on the Premier League. Dude, they
And
rotated De Bruyne out of the squad yesterday.
yeah, I don't see, like personally, because Man City won it last season. I don't think that
Yeah.
they I
No,
really don't think that they care.
the focus is 100% on the Premier League right now.
No, Vlad, I think Gareth Bale scored the winner at the Etihad. He won 1-0. He got the goal for Real Madrid at the Etihad. I'm gonna look that up because I know for a fact
I don't remember it 100%.
it was like 15, 16 or something like that. It was almost a decade ago. I could have sworn Real Madrid beat them at the Etihad. I'm gonna Google that.
Dude, and by the way, if we have a Real and Atletico Champions League final, I was like I mentioned a couple of times, I was at the 2016 Champions League final at the San Siro between Real and Atletico, and my God, like the fans and how they completely filled the city, like you could hear from kilometers away the chants and everything. We went in the trains and the whole trains were shaking and everything. Dude, that was one of the best football experiences I ever had. Dude, the game was great, the presentation was great, the city was great. Yeah, man. And I think it will happen, like if it happens again, dude. I couldn't believe I got the Derby Madrileno once in a lifetime, and to see it a second time, it's just great.
Yeah. I guess it was at the Bernabeu. Trying to see if I can can't believe it's so difficult to find a clip that's like 10 years old.
And
Yeah,
I
it was at the
think,
Bernabeu,
but
2016
the
Bernabeu.
pregame was Alicia Keys. I don't remember if Andrea Bocelli was there. Alicia Keys did the pregame show. I don't know if he was there, but Cristiano, seeing him live, his positioning and the speed he still had back then, how to beat like men 1v1. Like he had a great game, but Atletico like shithoused them into the penalty shootout.
Yeah,
And that's like prime Simeone.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I would be shocked if Atletico don't make the final. If Atletico win, they will play the winner of PSG or Barcelona.
Yeah, and
So
look, Barcelona beat them in La Liga 2 weeks ago or something. Before the international break, they beat them 3-0 or whatever. But dude, in a knockout stage at the Champions League, dude, Diego Simeone will cook them.
yeah,
Dude,
he's only lost to Real.
if necessary, he will play 9-man defensively and just try to hit them like on one counter or shithouse himself into a penalty shootout. And Atletico, all the players are so mentally freaking strong. Dude, if they get to the penalty shootout, they will win it 100%.
They've only been eliminated by 2 teams in knockout stages. Real Madrid and Juventus. No one else
Yep.
has knocked out Atletico Madrid. I think maybe Man City was the first. No, I don't think so.
Hey, we convinced Vlad.
But give me Atletico versus Real final right now. I would love to see that Ancelotti versus Diego Simeone because they never faced each other. It was Zidane that or no, they did. They did. It was oh, that's a rematch of 2014. I would actually want to see that because that was Carlo's first season at Real, and I think that was Diego's like second or third season at Atleti. And like everybody was like touting how like that was the final in Lisbon. Man, that would actually be an interesting. I would love to see Atleti Real final. Because if it's like for example, if it's Atleti and Arsenal or Bayern Munich, I think Atleti slaps, no difficulty whatsoever.
Dude. And did you say or did you think at all at the start of this Champions League season that Atletico was our damn favorite to get into the final?
No,
My
and
God.
ironically, and it's all because of Alvaro Morata.
Oh, yeah. Morata and Griezmann, 2 players that got wrote off a couple of years ago. Sorry, got written off.
Yeah, Simeone just has like a
Dude, he has the magic.
He's got some black magic or something, man.
Yeah.
Because it's like if Morata doesn't play well, Griezmann plays well. If Griezmann doesn't play well, Morata
Yeah.
plays well. It's just like he's got the most perfect situation going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like for example, today Simeone with the or not Simeone, Griezmann with the assist, and then Morata didn't play well, but it was DePaul and Lino, so that entire left side cooked. Like they went up 2-0 and they just kind of chilled, and then Dortmund got essentially a goal in the last 10 minutes. But I mean, though Atletico is at home, I just unless Dortmund pulls some crazy shit because Dortmund only had an expected goals of 0.86, and I don't think they will. They're professional chokers. Like I don't think there's been an instance where Dortmund, outside of like the one game they beat Real 4-1, but that was like almost 15 years ago practically. But here's the irony of that game while we're talking on Simeone. So Atletico win 2-1. They had an expected goals of 2.07 with 14 shots, 9 shots on target, and 5 big chances. And they missed 3 of their big chances.
Dude, that's even a great offensive game for them because they don't have that many shots most of the time. Dude, that is a great offensive output game for them.
That is insane. I've never thought in my life I would see, like, I was expecting to go on here because, like, for example, Dortmund 66 possession, Atletico 34% possession, created way more chances. Like that's just nuts. Oh my goodness. You mean to tell, like, for example, and Simeone is as pragmatic as they come, and he's able to create that much opportunity. That's just, that's credit to Griezmann and Morata in all honesty.
Oh, yeah. Hold up, let me pull out. No pun intended. Morata's goal stats this season. He has 14 goals and 1 assist in La Liga right now. Let me just look up all comps his stats.
I think he's near 20. I don't think he's hit 20, but he's close to 20.
Oh, including
Jer-
Champions League and
Copa del Rey.
the cup, I think he's over 20. But let me just.
So read it. I'll read the chat here. Dan says, "Wouldn't it be funny if Bayern won CL? Tuchel did it with Chelsea. Possible. I think the Harry Kane curse might beg to differ there." Gompatro says, "What's it like to watch Cristiano live? It's probably one of the best things ever."
Oh yeah.
Vlad says, "Bayern should not be underestimated. They have experience in Tuchel. They have De Ligt too, best striker in the world." Agree, Bayern have the experience there. Shut up and take my money. Give me an Atletico Real final, Champions League final. Vlad says, "What's funnier is Real hasn't beaten Atletico this season," which is actually true. I just want Griezmann for Ballon d'Or, man. You're saying that we should snipe Simeone from Atletico. I doubt he's the most expensive coach. He's like making 20 million net.
Dude, if we get a new sponsorship deal, that whole money we have to give it to Simeone in order to get it.
Yeah. Atleti pays him a shit. He's the highest paid coach besides, I think, Guardiola's next to him.
Yeah.
All right. If we're taking former Inter players, someone give me Simeone over Motta. Not Dash. Dash is a pro. He don't choke. Talk about Simeone. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of the stream because I was watching UCL. Did y'all cover Serie A's anti? No, we're saving that for the end. We covered Conte.
Oh no, but I can show you how we started off the stream. Just give me a second.
We started with an amazing clip. Vlad, you're gonna like this. It's how Lautaro receives the ball from the fans every match. It's a quite the majestic clip. And Dahl saying Real would win the final over Atletico. Madrid have the experience, but this is for you, Vlad.
Look at this beauty. Lautaro stops the ball, sent from his fans. Dude, look at this immaculate ball control.
Yeah, it's just such a touch. This was like one of the best touches I've ever seen.
Hold up. Look slow-mo. Dude, I wish all strikers can do that.
It's amazing. He received a 40-yard pass like it was nothing.
Dude, look at it. Man. Dude, what a ball control.
Haters will say that that's reversed. Just like that comment says on there.
So,
all right.
Morata's stats. So 14 goals in La Liga and 5 in Champions League in 8 games. That's incredible, by the way. So 19 goals all competitions and 2 assists. So 21
goal contributions.
21 goal contributions.
He kind of cooled off in the second half of the season, though. That was the one thing. I think he had like a knee injury or something that kind of slowed him down. But
yeah, he was out for a month or whatever.
Yeah, so it's good. Like, for example, if you take that, right, 21 goal contributions, and you put him next to Dusan, who has 17, you're in a good spot.
Yeah,
because like, for example, Milik and Keane never hit those numbers.
Oh no,
they've never hit those numbers. So, like, for example, I've always been an Alvaro Morata. I've been an enthusiast. I've liked how he is, though his finishing was always suspect. But I just liked he was always one of those grip players for Juve. Like, did all the dirty work. He was, for me, not the main guy, but if he was a supplement in that season that he was the supplement to Ronaldo, I thought he shined really well. I thought he did.
Oh yeah,
I thought he did an amazing job. Because, like, for example, if I were to pull up his Serie A. This is his 2021. So he had 11 goals, 9 assists in just Serie A. And then if I were to add Let me do this. So Coppa Italia, he had 2 goals in Coppa Italia, and then he in his Champions League. Oh crap! There we go. 6 goals in Champions League and 1 assist there. So he practically nearly had 30 goal contributions that season when he was playing next to,
Yep.
a main striker. Like, I mean,
Yep.
it's
Dude, I
awesome.
don't mind that at all.
I don't either.
It's dude. If he's a rotational striker or like paired up with Vlahovic, I don't mind that.
And then you want to add that, like, he with his Euro production as well. He had 3 goals in the Euro. So yeah, Morata went over 20 goals that calendar year, and it's easily 30, 35 goal contributions. If you want to throw in Nations League, he had a goal there. It's Morata's best season, 2020, 2021. He was on fire.
Oh yeah.
He outperformed his expected goals, outperformed his expected assists by a shit ton. So, could you imagine Morata doing some dirty work and you have Dusan cherry picking those?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
and Morata can lay off the ball perfectly. Like
yes, he can.
Like if he receives the ball somewhere around the box, just a short, like 2-yard pass or whatever, like a ball control and 1 short pass, dude, he can do that perfectly.
Yep, and Morata has 33 shots on target with 14 goals, so that's just roughly under 50% conversion rate, which is that's really good.
Hey, yeah.
And like, for example,
especially if you think about who we have right now.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like I said, getting that for 15, 20 million and you partner that up with Dusan?
Hey, that works. If you look, do you think we will get any money for Milik because we bought him for 7 million? Do you think we can at least like get 7 million back for him?
I don't know, possibly. I mean, even if you were to include Keane in the deal and have some capital going towards Atletico, I would still be fine.
If we put Keane in the deal and even pay like 5 million on top of it, you bought yourself just 5 to 10 goals for 5 million.
Yeah.
And I think that's good value.
No, I know. I think Morata's Spain's best goal scorer. I think he currently is.
Yep.
I don't know if
and by the way,
total?
he is an incredible appreciated teammate at Atletico and at the national team. The dude, like, he doesn't complain about his role or anything. He never complains. He's not like one of our drama queens in the team. He just like works hard. The dude got himself back into form after being laughed at by the whole world that put him into depression and everything. The dude worked himself up, like he got mental health help and everything, and the dude is firing again. And I appreciate that work ethic. I think it would help us greatly, and he would be great in the locker room. For me, I would sign up immediately.
Yeah, and it pretty much monetized the whole Milik deal, so that's why 6 million was a steal. Yeah. I think they could sell him for anything and they'd be fine.
Dude, it was a loan, and we bought him for 6 or 7 million or whatever it was, and so basically we had him for 6 to 7 million for 2 years right now. So it's also a good deal, I think.
Yes, for sure.
And I think he was valued at around 15 to 20 million when we got him for 7. So the deal was good, but hey, at some point, if we can get a better rotational piece for it, so hey, why not?
Yeah, and I think, like, for example, they could easily just let him leave and just terminate his contract if no one buys him. But
even if we get 1 to 2 million, or like Vlad says, to lose 2 million, dude, if we get 2 million or 3 million or whatever, like even if we get peanuts, dude, it's basically we amortized everything, like you said, and yeah.
No, for sure.
It's free. It's free money. Like for whatever you sell them, it's free money.
It would be nice. I mean, like I said, if it could happen, it could be nice. Another player that's potentially on the move is Nange. Antwerp is looking at getting him for 5 or 6 million. Juve want closer to 10. A deal could be reached through percentage of future sales. I didn't expect Nange really to have that much, because that's the thing, right? Like, here's the thing: if you smell what the dash is cooking, it's more so like, for example, with the next gen, Juve were never going to be a team that turned the entire first team to the next gen.
You
Juve were
can't.
making you can't.
You
It's
just
physically
can't.
impossible.
Yeah.
So it was always more along the lines of, we're going to make a bunch of average to above average young players that we can then flip for profits.
Absolutely.
Like, for example,
That's why youth academies are there. Like, of course, you want ideally to get great talents out of the youth academies, but from every youth academy, you only get like the smallest percentage of players that that actually become superstars. So 3/4 of the academies is there to flip them into profit, because that money you earn is pure profit, basically. Or like the smear fee you paid for a player is mostly under $1 million or around $1 million or whatever. Everything else you make on top of that is pure profit, and that money you can pocket that immediately and use that. Because for everything else to pay stadium fees, whatever, you use sponsorship money and everything of that. So the money you receive from selling players on pure profit, you can basically pocket that and use that for transfers. And yeah, that's free money you get, basically.
so could you, like, for example, could you imagine, like, for example, hypothetically here, so Juve sell Sule for 40,
Yeah.
Juve then sell Illing for 25, Juve then sell Huijsen for 30 million. That's
we are around 100 million already.
Yeah, you'd be at 100 million if you sold those three, give or take.
Yeah.
Sell Nange, you add Nange in there for 10. Those four youngsters, there's no guarantee they're going to be world-class players. Like, I want people to essentially move on from that kind of set, right? Like, I want people to kind of just peter away from thinking that, because, like, here's the interesting thing, right? Juventus fans don't know what it's like to have a successful youth academy, because now they're like, oh, no, we can't sell them. No, we can't sell Illing. We can't sell Benanachea. We can't sell Nange. We can't sell this. We can't sell these guys. Like,
no, we absolutely can.
You can, and you're supposed
to. We can, and if we don't sacrifice a big player, we need to.
Like people are, and like, for example, even same thing with Facundo as well. Like,
no, but Facundo, like, as much as he developed, he plays in Serie B right now. He isn't on the radar to get you any big money. That's why we talk about Dean, because he will get you around 30 to 35 million. And Sky Germany reported today that the interest of Dortmund is getting higher, and they are already negotiating. So if we sell him for that is 35 million. I think we paid around 1 or 2 million for him. That is 33 million that goes into your books that you can use immediately without losing money.
And here's the thing, right? Huijsen's not going to be a guaranteed starter if he comes back next year. So could you imagine?
No, he's not guaranteed. And to cash in 30 million or 35 million on a non-guarantee, 100% do it.
Because you don't know if he's going to pop off, if he pops off, or if he doesn't pop off. Same thing with Illing Jr., right? If you get 25 for Illing, if you get 40 for Sule, you're stupid not to take that.
Yeah.
You really are.
Yeah, and as I said, that is 100% profit that you can immediately use to finance other transfers. Because, like, so you don't make a loss on on a single transfer. Like, even it will never happen. But if we pay 60 million for Coop Miners, and you pocketed 100 million from your academy, dude, that is like not a free transfer, of course, but you got him for sacrificing 3 of your academy players and have still 40 million to spare.
And that's not even accounting for the budget
Like
that's
like
allocated
like
for
hi, hi,
transfers.
hypothetically.
Yeah, no, for sure, hypothetically, right? Like, for example, say that you move those youngsters, right? You move those 4 youngsters, you pocket 100 million, you buy Coop Myers, and then you still have 40 million plus on top of the money that you have allocated for transfers.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, that
and
is
then
cool. That is Coop Miners, that is Calafiori. Felipe Anderson is for free. If you get a fullback or whatever, depending on the formation you want to play, you rebuild basically your whole roster with those 3 players.
yeah, you've
Dude,
essentially
and like Kamaboko said, if you get Lazar for 25 to 30 or whatever Udinese wants, then you have 65 million to spare, which is even better.
like, for example, I'm not on the Coop Miners Express, right? Like, I'm just kind of using him as a name arbitrarily, right? Who
Yeah,
knows?
he's just an example because he's the most
Expensive,
expensive midfielder
yes.
everybody plays about. So he's the example that if we sell those 3 academy players, we have got them 100 million euro for free.
Exactly.
Because those are our like academy graduates.
And again, they don't cost anything on the books. So, like, you have those pieces, and then now you're able to really expedite the rebuild.
Yeah,
Because, like, for example, yeah, maybe some of these youngsters could be bench players, and you can have a solid
yeah.
bench, but really, I don't know. I don't think so, because, like, most of the elite teams in Europe have first team players as bench players. So it's like
Yep.
it doesn't really matter per se. So, like, I don't. For me, that's awesome. If you're able to bring in young players and flip them for profits, it's just, unfortunately, I really think that Juventus fans don't really understand what it means
Yeah,
to have proper
the
academy.
problem is they don't understand financing.
No, they don't.
They don't understand a lack of financing in modern football today. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's really that's it. Well, I think, considering how many failed transfers we had under Paratici and Cherubini, I wonder what would have happened if we spent that money on SMS or DePaul. That's a good question. The problem is if we bought SMS instead of Ronaldo, I think we would have won a Champions League.
Yeah.
I really think if we like, that was what, back 17, 18. If Juve forked over 100 million for SMS instead of buying
Dude,
Ronaldo, I think they would have won a
if we
Champions
get
League.
if we get SMS right now for 30 million,
It's
which is
still an
basically
upgrade.
half of Coop minus 100%, I do that deal also immediately.
And he's still 28, 29 years old. He's not
Yeah.
that old.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't understand that. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not being linked to us right
Dude,
now.
and even because hold up, let me get his age out just for a second. He's 29 years old, so you give him a 3-year deal and 30 million, dude, that is 10 million per season for the rest of his contract, and he's already amortized by the end of the 3 years. I don't mind that.
I don't either.
And if you can flip him then again to Saudi Arabia, or even if he goes for free, that is a good deal for 30 million with the production he would give you for 2.5 to 3 years. It's also a good deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't disagree. That's why I'm a little bit surprised by Coop Myers is the main discussion point, not SMS. I would assume SMS is easier to get now that he's in Saudi, but I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure why. But, like, for example, even then, you run the midfield of, like, for example, say it's the 4-2-3-1. You have SMS and you have Fajoli, which is, like, for example, I would say next season, even if you had Coop Myers, you would probably want to run Coop Myers and Fajoli more than you would want to run Coop Myers and Locatelli.
Yep.
And at that point, you would have Locatelli become like a McKennie, where he's just on the bench.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think that's where I think at this point, I think Locatelli's most effective capabilities is being on the bench.
Or being a center back and moving to a different position. Yeah.
That as well. All right. We're going to move to the final article. Let's see if I can find it here. I know Vlad wants to talk about it. and I know, and it's going to be about Mancini, and then it's also going to be how, ironically, uh, how Serie A tackles racism. And does it surprise you? Serie A is just a lack of taste per se, but I'll move this over here and we'll share this here. So, in response to racist chants, Serie A's message to respond towards racism is saying, "Don't call me gypsy. Use the right words."
You redhead. Dude.
Oh my goodness. Serie A at its finest.
Yep.
Don't call me a gypsy. And they can't even write it correctly in English. Don't call me gypsy. That's such like a European to English translation. And they have the hashtag next to it. Hashtag don't call me gypsy. That to me. What?
Oh man. Dude, that is tone deaf. That is the fight against racism in Italy.
Dude, Italy. Oh my goodness. You know,
Dude,
there's sometimes
I don't even know what to say.
I don't.
That is so ignorant and so tone deaf. Hey, honestly, I don't know what to say to that.
Like that's like, for example, don't call me black. Like it's just stuff like that, right? Don't call me
Yeah,
gypsy. Like you're using the slur.
yeah,
Like you're actually using the slur.
yeah.
Like I because like for
Oh,
example
man.
with Vlad being from Serbia, like does this how you know what, Vlad, what's your take on this? Because I think this is just ridiculous. Like this makes no sense. This is just tone deaf.
Hey, it's completely ignorant, dude. If that happened in Germany, whoever wrote that promo there would be fired, and he will never have a job in his whole damn life.
That's just so wild. Because that's going to piggyback on this article here from ESPN. AS Roma defender Gianluca Mancini has been fined only $5,000, but avoided a ban for waving a flag with a giant rat at the end of their clash against Lazio on Saturday. Mancini, who said he was the happiest man in the world when his goal gave Roma a 1-0 win, sparked controversy when he waved a huge flag with Lazio colors that also had a giant rat painted on it as he celebrated with his teammate in front of Gallerossi fans. I believe there it is. There's the image right there. But further on, the Italian Football Federation has opened an investigation the following day, and after reading its report, the league sporting judge opted to just sanction him with a fine. Mancini apologized after the match. "I didn't want to offend anyone. I took the first flag they gave me." Like, okay. Sure.
I don't know what to say to that one.
I don't
Because
either.
it is a red on the flag with Lazio colors, so I don't know if there's like any historical sense to it, or if it's just he's offending the Lazio fans. So I don't know how big of an impact that is, because I haven't read like any of the history to it. Like if anyone can enlighten me, I can maybe give a better take on it. But yeah, like the dumbest thing for me is that the fans actually try to contribute to pay his fine, which is dumb because the guy's a
Yeah.
fucking millionaire.
The fans got together and got $5,000 and paid off the
Hey Dash, do you want to pay Draymond Green's ejection fines with me as well? The dude is earning 30 million. Let's help him out.
It's so stupid, man. I swear, tifosi are some of the most dumbest people I've ever seen. Like, it's so stupid.
Dude, send that money to charity. What the hell are you doing there?
Like, why are you giving that to Serie A? Of all institutions, you're giving it to them. And Frankie, I'm not going to read this comment just because you know why, but that is honestly, if Serie A did that, Serie A would do that for I'm surprised they didn't do that for Juan Jesus with Acerbi. Like, could you imagine if they dropped that?
How the hell that one was a bigger crime for me than this one, and this guy got a fine.
Because you want to know what they used? They said it was hearsay. It was he said, he said. That's why Acerbi got off. That was pretty much the lawyer speak for that. It was hearsay. That's why. Like, well,
They
there's no
they
recording.
just didn't care shit because it was their beloved team.
Yeah, that I like that more. Vlad says what's funny is that Zingario doesn't even offend us as a word. All the Yug nations use gypsy as a slur for actual Roma people. That's interesting. I didn't know that. LJJ says, I didn't know Del Piero works for CBS. He does not work for CBS. He goes there when he's bored.
He just appears in some, on some shows.
Yeah, when he's bored and wants to mess around, he goes and does a couple of things for
And
CBS.
by the way,
for
he
Champions League.
conducts great interviews because he actually has the expertise to talk with the players he interviews.
Yeah, he actually has the knowledge. It's not like, there's Serie A scrubs that they use. Big Meeks.
Dude, is Michael Richards like asking any questions other than, hey, who you like more of the panel here?
Yeah, he said he started working for him. He's always like this during the Champions League knockout stages. Like Del Piero, unless like Del Piero needs to make some extra cash, that's the only time I could see him doing some punditry. But like,
dude, I wouldn't mind that extra CBS cash.
I would not. Yeah, if I wouldn't mind him. I think he's fun to listen to. I think obviously Del Piero knows what he's talking about. Like,
and by the way, I think his English is great.
Yes,
like it's really good listening to him and the interviews because he actually goes into plays and techniques and everything with the players. So I think he's good.
Yeah, Vlad, this reminds me of Ritor taking the Serbian flag and waving it across.
But is that even allowed for her to do it as an Albanian?
Yeah, well, she's technically from Kosovo, so like that, dude, that would cause a lot of smoke. That's honestly, he's right. That's actually like probably the best analogy is if someone that's from Kosovo waved a Serbian flag. That is definitely.
It is the Peter Griffin meme. Y'all know what meme I mean when he came back with a crown and everything. So I won't go into it further, live here. But yeah, y'all know what I mean.
Yeah, and because I know Del Piero freelances for Sky Sport Italia as well. Like, I guess maybe he's just on the panel until the knockout stages are done with the Champions League. But to be honest with you, like that CBS panel they use for the Champions League is kind of like mildly entertaining with Thierry Henry.
Dude, Del Piero.
It's funny. Dave started talking about Del Piero and he lost signal. Oh man. Del Piero comes on when he wants to blue ball us about his managerial hopes. You back, buddy?
Yeah, I'm back. It was just the connection cut out for me. Did you hear what I said?
No, you cut out. You just said Del Piero.
All right. Oh no, Del Piero was there for the penalty shootout with Inter against Atletico. He was there live as the interviewer, and the guy couldn't hide his smile, and I loved him so much for
it. Over to you, Alessandro. He's like, "Hey guys, yeah, Inter lost. They missed the penalty." He's like this, just looking and just smiling. I'm like, this guy is an absolute troll.
He literally said when he got asked about the Lautaro penalty, "Hey, I didn't know what happened there."
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, Vincenzo, I watch ESPN FC on YouTube sometimes, and those guys have no idea of football. Dude, it's just old Premier League heads or like old players that played like in the MLS, and they have absolutely no ball knowledge whatsoever.
No. Well, and the funny thing is like those some of the previous ESPN FC people got moved on to Paramount Plus for Serie A.
Oh yeah, yep.
So that's your baseline.
Hey, ESPN and football coverage is even worse than the Paramount Plus football coverage, and that means a lot.
Speaking of Del Piero, I did find the interview here, so it's you could see the smile on his
Oh,
face.
yeah, man,
Started
dude.
playing football a little bit late. They started playing football in the second extra time, and they can do better during the game because they have possession, but the only opportunity that they had was on the counterattack. So when they have the ball, Inter can do much better. On the penalty shootout, sometimes it's luck, sometimes you prepare yourself better, sometimes your goalkeeper make incredible saves, sometimes the fans can give you some help.
He's smiling. You can see his eyes light up. It's
Yeah,
hilarious. Oh, Del Piero.
yeah, love
He's
him.
just gonna keep blue balling Juve fans until the end of time. I honestly, like for example, think about it, right? He has no need to get involved. Like he can tease
No.
it to stay relevant. Like, because that's the thing, right? Like he is essentially a god. Like he literally
Oh yeah,
is amongst like a bunch of Juventino, like especially
yep,
the old guard. Like him just being at the Allianz is enough to like him making an occasional appearance to Juve related stuff
yep.
is just like enough for that because like people will just sit there and hold that slimmer of hope of him coming as a manager. And I'm going to tell you, Del Piero makes enough and does enough where he doesn't need to be a manager. He
And
doesn't need to be
also,
one.
I think no, he doesn't need to. And also, it is one of the cases where you have to be like mindful of your image. Like, let's say it doesn't go like he wants or like we want, dude. Like we still are furious and angry with Pirlo and how that ended up, dude. We don't want to risk Del Piero like hurting his image or whatever
And he
because
doesn't.
the community is that and he doesn't, and our community is that toxic that we would tear a statue down, and nobody wants that, neither he nor I nor Dash, and I think not a single one of you in the chat.
Yeah, and like
Just
for example
just
with
be
Conte.
mindful of it and hold him high up, and yeah, don't let him. Yeah,
Yeah, and like for example, Conte, like they wanted to take down his black star that's on the stadium. Like they wanted to tear it down. So like for example,
yep,
Del Piero is not going to be Juve's manager until he retires. He will probably either leave or get sacked and then go coach another team. Could you imagine if he coaches? And for me, like Del Piero is just
yep,
that kind of guy that is just eternally loyal to Juve, and I think he understands. He's like,
yep,
I don't think me and how I am would be suited to be a manager. So, like for example, I would see Del Piero being a president or a club executive, maybe like an ambassador like Trezeguet was, and maybe a president 10 or 15 years down the road, possibly. That's the only time I could see him. But right now, he gets paid almost over 100,000 euros for appearance on Sky Sports or CBS. They're gonna he is
oh
that
yeah,
much where like for example, he freelances and he blue balls all these networks because he knows he can get because he knows what he's doing. He essentially has coaching badges. He
yep,
does. And that's what makes him really desirable as a pundit. And I think that's a smart marketing move by Del Piero. Like Del Piero opened up his restaurant chain in LA of all places, right? Number 10. And now he's got coaching badges, so he knows what he's talking about when he's doing his punditry. Or, like for example, he isn't like a full-time employee for these guys. He's like, yeah, I'll come and I'll do a couple of interviews in Europe or whatever, and I'll do some work in Europe, but it's going to be worth a penny. And because how much there's an affinity to Del Piero, they're going to pay that penny. So, like for example, why would Del Piero change that right now? It's a system that's working for him. He's making a shit ton of money doing it, and it's less
oh yeah,
stressful. It's a hell of a lot
yep,
stressful. He wakes up in the morning, he's like, "Ah, shit, I need to fly to Spain or I need to fly to whatever and be on TV for maybe 10 minutes." Right? Like his TV time, especially when he's punting at the stadium, he's only got what, 10 minutes tops, 10 15 minutes of TV time and that's it. And
yep,
those 10 15 minutes
yep,
he makes more than what we'll ever make doing 10 minutes of work. Like
yep.
why would he?
Dude,
Like,
he's
like ser-
getting
Go ahead.
arguably he's getting more money for one appearance on CBS than he would get as a coach or whatever position he gets at Juventus for the whole season.
Yeah. Like it's Why do you think all these former pros are? Why do you think Thierry Henry is staying as a pundit for CBS? And because he saw how it was coaching, and he's like, shit, I don't want this. I'm out.
Dude, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on Sky England, and Jamie Carragher like freelancing or having a contract with CBS. Those guys are making tens of millions of dollars. They are earning more money in their pundit career now than they ever earned as players, like all the years combined. Dude, the TV gig is right now like the one that pays you the most money if you make it. And Del Piero actually like has the expertise and everything to do that, and he does it great. And
Yeah, and it's like, for example, yeah, Jeff is saying like Terry did fail as a coach. He did. No, he did, and that's why he never tried to get back on it, because he's like, fuck it.
yeah, but do you
I
know
have the
what?
knowledge, and I
When
can get more money doing this and less stress.
yeah, but do you know what? Thierry Henry, when he tells a story, when he goes on, when he's on TV, everybody is glued to like 100% to his lips, because everybody wants to know or to hear what he has to say, because he was the striker or the player I grew up with loving the most, and he and me hearing or listening to his interviews, to podcasts and everything. The dude is a great storyteller. He is made for TV.
Yeah, I think he's amazing for TV, and I think he won't leave CBS until Kate Abdo retires.
Oh, he still has hopes. Poor Thierry Henry has more delusional dreams and hopes than Vlad.
All right.
So sorry, my brother. I love you.
All right, we're way past our normal allocated time, but those are our thoughts, not yours. Again, if you have any thoughts, throw them in the chat, comment, and all that fun jazz. We will catch you Friday. We'll do some pregame for Torino, and then obviously the call-in show as well. And obviously, folks, lower this a little bit. Remember to like and subscribe to the video. You know, the usual. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And if you're just joining in, catch the replay. Pretty long show. We talked about a lot of stuff. Conte, new formations, new lineups, new coach, new players leaving, rats, and really dumb fans, and some Del Piero. But on that note, guys, we'll catch you in on the next one.